Welcome to the VB Toolbox. In this tutorial we'll be talking about the dictionary collection. Much like other VB.NET collections, the dictionary allows you to store an array of data. This can consist of virtually any data type, including custom objects and classes. The main difference between the dictionary collection and other collections, however, is that the dictionary allows you to create a key value that can be used as sort of a custom index based upon a data type of your choosing. This can simplify retrieval of data from your collection and make it feel much more intuitive and logical. So let's go ahead and begin by creating a new project. You can name your project whatever you like. I'm just going to call it Dictionary App and press OK. Make sure it's a Windows Forms application. And that'll generate our project template. From here I'm going to add a few simple controls to our screen. The first being a button. I'm going to set that over there, and I will grab a couple of text boxes from my toolbox. I'm going to set one there. I'm going to copy that by right-clicking on it and then right-click on the form and select Paste. And next I think I will add a couple of label controls. You can do the same with that. You can copy that and again paste that. I think I'm going to get 3 of those. I'm going to paste one more. What we'll be doing is setting up a simple menu system, sort of like you might see at a restaurant. Maybe not quite so fancy, but and I want one more control. This one's going to be a ListBox to actually show the information that we have stored to our dictionary. So if you go down to ListBox and drag that down, and now we will name our controls. I'm going to first select my first label, and I'm just going to change the text property to, let's see, I'm just going to call this item, and the second one I will call price, and this will be our menu, so I'll change the text value to menu. Alright, next up let's select our button. And can shrink that up just a little bit. I'm going to change the text on this to add menu item. Okay, now we want to name our controls. I'm going to call this, I'm going to change the name property to CMD for command button and add item. And I will name my first text box, change the name property to txt item, and I will change the second box to txt price. And my list box I am going to name LBX for list box and menu. So LBX menu. And once you have that done, we should be ready to begin coding on this. So, first thing I want to do is double-click on my form to generate a form load event. And we're going to add a variable at the top of our class here. If you want, you can do public, private, or dim. I'm just going to do a private variable, and I'm going to call this variable my dictionary. as a new instance of the dictionary. Now here we have to specify what kind of dictionary we want and what kind of key value pair we want. Okay, so the first one is going to be the data type for the key value that we want to use. This could be a string, an integer, or any other kind of data type we want. I'm going to go ahead and use a string as my key index, and for the data type that I actually want to store to my array or to my dictionary, I'm going to go ahead and use a decimal type. Okay, because what I'm going to be doing is storing a list of menu items, say cheeseburgers, fries, whatever you want, as the type, and or as my key, and then relative to that key I want to store the price of the item. So really this dictionary is going to be storing prices, and these keys have to be unique because they're like an index value. So you can't have two of the same item like you could in the list collection or other types of collections. So once we've created our new dictionary, we can add a few values to that. I'm going to add a new item by saying my dictionary dot add, and we'll specify our key as a string, and I'm just going to add a couple of starter items here. I'll say cheeseburger, and then I need to add the price that I want as a decimal. That's a numeric value with decimal places, and so I'm going to say cheeseburger is $5.99. Okay, so you can go ahead and repeat this a couple of times if you want to add a few items. What else might you have? How about a big pickle? I'm going to make that $1.29. Of course, you might have pounds or euros or whatever your country's currency is. I'm going to just copy and paste that down here. Add one more item, large drink, and I'll change that to $1.25. Okay, so that just adds a few items to our dictionary. If you run that, it should populate our dictionary with some values. Now it's stored in memory, so we can't actually see the information there. So we're going to want a sub or some routine to actually populate this list box with the values that we have stored in our dictionary. To do this, I'm going to create a new private sub, and I'm just going to call this sub update menu. So we can say update our list box. Alright. First thing we want to do to prevent duplication of the information that is already existing in here is to clear the existing contents of the list box if there's already something in it. So I'm going to say lbx menu.items.clear, and that just dumps everything out and then reloads it from our existing list or our existing dictionary. So to loop through our dictionary, the values of a dictionary, what you see here, is called a key value pair, consisting of a key and a value. Okay, so to simplify lookups, what we can do is create a variable to store a key value pair. So I'm just going to say dim kvp as key value pair, key value pair. Alright, and this has to match the key value setup that we have up here. So we're going to say of string, and the type is decimal. So that creates an empty variable with a key value pair. And now what we can do is we can loop through our existing items by saying for each KVP in my dictionary let's see, let's go ahead and create a string from our key value pair. So what I'll do is I'll say dim my string as a string equals string.format. Now these are kind of fun. They allow you to build a string from specified parameters. So what I'm going to do is say string format, and to specify the parameters you use curly braces, and essentially the index of that parameter, like this. So say 0 for my first parameter, and whatever I specify will show up as that part of the string. So and then I'm going, so that'll be my key, and then I want to specify my value as the second parameter, and that's going to be the price. So I'm going to put a $sign there to represent dollars. You can use whatever your currency symbol is, and that will be my next value. Okay, so you kind of see how this is built here in a moment. Then we specify our parameters or arguments. So the first one I'm going to use is going to be my KVP, my key value pair's key value. So I'll say KVP dot key, and that will return whatever the key value was, so the name of the item. And now I want to retrieve the value or the price from that dictionary item. So I'm going to say kvp.value. Very simple. So now we've just built a string using the key and the value as arguments or parameters for that. Now all we have to do is dump this string that we've created into our list box. So we can say lbx menu dot items dot add my string. Let's go ahead and give that a test run. Oh, we need to actually trigger this command here. So after we're done adding these items, we'll say update menu to call our new sub. And now let's go ahead and run that. And if it's successful, it should generate a list of our menu items. Pretty sweet. Very useful. So now we want to be able to add some menu items, so we're going to use these guys up here to do that. So let's jump back to our form. And now double click on your Add Menu Item button to generate a click event. And from here, what we can do is first make sure that there's a value in each of these boxes. We don't want to try adding blank values to our dictionary. So what we'll do is we'll say if txtitem.text is not equal to a blank value, and txtprice.text is also not blank, then we want to check and see if the dictionary already contains the key that we're trying to add, because you can't add duplicate items. If the cheeseburger already exists, you can't add it again, otherwise it's going to throw back an error at us. Those indexes or keys have to be unique. So we'll say if my dictionary dot contains key, and the key we want to check for will be our item.text. So we'll say txt item.text. So if this key already exists, then what we want to do is, how about we update the price to whatever price was specified in the price box. So to do this, we can say my dictionary dot txt item dot text. That references the key that already exists in the dictionary, and then set the value to txtprice.text. So rather than crashing or trying to re-add the item, if it already exists, just update the price. Else, go ahead and add the new item to the dictionary with a new key value pair. So we'll say my dictionary dot items, or dot add, sorry, and we'll add a new key being the txt item.text and a new price, or the value will be the price. So we'll say txt price.text. And then once we're done doing this, let's go ahead and update the menu again so it shows it in real time. Launching our update menu sub. Now, because we're not doing any character checking here, and I'm trying to keep this fast and simple, if you enter a character in the price box, because a character value like T or F or whatever else you might enter is not a decimal value, those would be character values, and they will cause it to crash. So whatever you put in this price field has to be a numeric value. And you can set up some string checking, or even use a mask text box instead. That's up to you. This is just to kind of point you in the right direction here. So I'm going to go ahead and set the text alignment on our price box to be right aligned, so it's more like a numeric value should be. And then I'm going to go ahead and run this. So we already have cheeseburgers, pickles, and a large drink. Let's go ahead and add fries to our menu, or as some places call them, chips. And I'm going to make these $2.99. How about a large fry? Add menu item, and there you go. Dumps it into my menu properly. Now, one thing you might want to do is sort your menu alphabetically. That's up to you. To do that, it's very simple. You can just go back to your form, select your list box, and go down to the sorted property and set that to true, and then it will sort it alphabetically. I can say a small drink, and the small drinks will be, how about 65 cents. Add the menu item, and notice how it automatically appends the $sign based upon our string format that we did. So that's working very well. What happens if we try adding a cheeseburger again? And let's give it a price of, how about $3.75. Having a sale today. So add a menu item. Notice how it didn't crash. It found that the cheeseburger already existed, and rather than crashing or skipping over it, it changed the price to the new price that we specified. Change it to $4.75, and it changes the value. So that is, in a nutshell, how you use the dictionary collection. It's very handy for various tasks, and nice little tool, and I hope this has been helpful. One other thing we should probably cover, I just want to say, much like other collections, there is a way to remove items from the dictionary, and so just to kind of point you in the right direction here, we could say if it contains the key, then my dictionary dot remove, and then you specify the key if you want to remove it instead of updating it like we did here. So you could say, if it exists, just remove that txt item.text. So whatever the key name is, if it's found in the dictionary already, just take it out. Oops, sorry, kind of doing that off the screen there. Apologize. Notice how it actually removed it from our dictionary altogether. So that's how you remove items. I kind of like the update better, but figured I'd show you how to do that anyway. So removing items is very simple. You just specify the key value that you want and remove it by that key value. Really, that's all there is to know. There are other subs and or other methods and things that you can use with those as well, but that's really all there is to it. I hope this has been helpful. If you liked it, let me know, and if you have questions, again, leave comments for me. I appreciate it. Share it with anybody that you think would find it useful. And good luck on your projects. Bye-bye.